The first presenter would be Mr. Arvan, and then with the Mr. Ko and Mr. James Purnama with the title User Experience Evaluation of Online Marketplace for Beauty Care Service. So please, Mr. Arvan, you could share a screen.
Okay, sure. Just a moment, please. I'll share my screen right away.
Yeah, thank you. 10 to maximum 50 minutes. Time is
Okay.
yours.
So, Mr. Maula, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, so hello everyone. Have a good day. I would like to present about my paper. The title is User Experience Evaluation of Online Marketplace for Beauty Care Services. And for the case study is Kerenaja. Okay, starting off with the introduction. So lately, e-commerce activities in Indonesia has risen drastically over the years. And so there are approximately 96% people from the age of 16 to 64 has searched online for a product or service for them to buy. The number of beauty service providers in Indonesia is starting to rise by 20% every year. So we can conclude that there's a lot of potential to make an online marketplace for beauty care services because as of January 2019, there was $2.3 billion dollars to spend for fashion and beauty each month. And also, it's all the second highest spending category in Indonesia. So user experience defines the journey of user when using something. It really is important because it tries to fulfill whatever the user actually needs. So here's the picture graph showing that how many e-commerce activities are in Indonesia. And as you can see that fashion and beauty is the second highest grossing in e-commerce in Indonesia. Okay, so because I would like to research about the user experience of my product called Kerenaja, I'm going to break it down into background questionnaire first, where I will ask the respondent about their basic information, their age, gender, and education, and whether they have any experience when using any online marketplace before. So the aim of these questions are to actually classify the user group and to check their proficiency when using the app. Because we would like to interpret their answer correctly when they are filling in the questions. So the method that I'm going to measure the user experience with is to use the user experience questionnaire, or called UEQ. And this is invented by Martin Schreck and his friends. There are 26 items or 26 questions in total. So the aim of these questions is to evaluate the user experiences of Kerenaja, and later on we can compare it with other user experience questionnaire researches. And the positive and negative side are randomized. This is intended because we would like to avoid random and quick answers. So this is an example. No, this is not an example. This is the question itself from the UEQ. There are 26 questions in total. So for example, you can see there's the first one is annoying, and the right side is enjoyable. But in the others, in the third question, the creative and dull, the left side is creative and the right side is dull. This is to prevent any avoid random answers. And as you can see in the right picture, there's scale. So for example, question number 1, it falls into the scale of attractiveness. So annoying and enjoyable, it falls into the scale of attractiveness. And moving on to results and discussion. So I'm going to measure 2 parts of the product. First is the customer side first. So this is the user experience questionnaire result of the customer side when compared to other UEQ researches. There are in total around 20,000 user experience questionnaire researches. So I'm comparing it with these 20,000 other user experience questionnaire researches. And as you can see, the attractiveness falls into above average, the perspicuity as well, and the efficiency falls into the good scale, dependability falls into the good scale, and stimulation novelty falls into above average scale. So therefore, it can be concluded that Kerenaja's customer side is above average when compared to other UEQ researches. And as for the user experience questionnaire result, it's the vendor side. And most of the results shows that the skills falls below average. This may be because the user interface of Kerenaja vendor site is dull and the structure is confusing. And it can be concluded that Kerenaja's vendor site is below average when it's compared to other UDQ researches. So in conclusion, it can be concluded that the user experience of Kerenaja's customer site is above average, while the user experience of Kerenaja's vendor site is below average. It appears that the vendor side of Kerenaja has issues because all of the skills fall below average, and it can be recommended that the vendor side of Kerenaja needs to be redesigned and to be evaluated again. And as for the customer side of Kerenaja, most of the skills falls above average, but overall it can also still be improved. So that's the short version. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Arvan. So, is there any question from the audience about the kerenaja.com, right? Yeah, Mr. Arvan.
Yes,
that's the platform for the beauty.
Yes.
Platform for the beauty. Any question from the audience from the floor? You could just chat through the Zoom chat and then I will read this. Okay, while waiting, maybe you could also give us the idea how is you and maybe your colleagues come up with this idea for the platforms.
So starting, first of all, we wanted to create a platform where people can actually book and buy book services and buy products in one transaction. So I think there's no platform that can provide people where they can buy product and book services in one transaction. So we would like to create that platform. And as we search that beauty and fashion is like the most second highest grossing in e-commerce. So we came up with that idea actually.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Not yet from the audience. Okay, so how is the current, while waiting, how is the current progress for this platform, Mr. Arvan?
So right now we are actually trying to improve overall the website, the system, the user interface, the looks. We are trying to still, right now we are still searching for business partners and such. But in the future, we will also to focus to create on the mobile app as it is more easier for people to have access instead of using PC or laptops.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so any other questions from the audience? Okay, there is a questions. So, Mr. Arvan, a lot of fashion retails and brands are closing up shop during the pandemic. How is the challenge in running for this retail application store?
As far as we go right now, we haven't faced any challenges because we are focusing on fashion. No, it's not like fashion retails and brands. We are like focusing on barbershops, salon, penyedia jasa like service providers. We are focusing on them right now because we like to, as you know, right now that people are scared to go outside because of COVID. So we are currently trying to find barbershops or salon that can where we can work together to create a home service. So it's not like fashion retails and brands.
But how is in during this pandemic? How is the salon barbershop? Are they mostly closed, or are they still open with the new protocol, or how is it the condition for the specifically for the salon or barbershop?
Ah, I see. So mostly are open, but they require you to actually book by using WhatsApp or maybe their service. But you actually need to book a schedule first before you can actually go in.
Oh, okay, all right. So they also start at least start to have also the book system through though it's still maybe manual, yeah, through
Yes,
the WhatsApp, yeah,
WhatsApp, yeah.
not through the platform yet.
Yes.
But how is it going in the near future after the pandemic is over, which related to your topics about the barbershop or salon?
Maybe it's still far ahead for our team to think of, but we don't only it's not only around barbershops because we will take to expand our categories, not only to be beauty, but we will take to expand it. So take an example of Fiverr. It's an international website where people can book services for something like Photoshop, video editing. So we are not going to stay in a range of fashion and beauty, but we are going to expand our category as well.
Okay, okay, all right. So any other questions? We still have around 3 minutes. There is a question from the Pak Amin. How is the curve of the questionnaire related to the product and services in general? So it seems that for the UAQ, yeah, the question about the user experience questionnaire, how is the curve and how is the result?
So actually, I mean, I am trying to actually measure the user experience of the respondents when they are trying to use the Kerenaja. So I hand out the website to them. I ask them to test the website, and I measure the user experience using the user experience questionnaire. So the curve is actually a comparison of the user experience of Kerenaja with other user experience questionnaire researches.
All right. So, and there is another questions. What is the unique proposition against the competitors, and how will you gain the profit to meet the ROI?
For the main
Maybe you can just briefly answer, because as I know there will be the next session about business analysis, yeah, and design for the beauty care service.
So
Yeah.
for the main unique proposition, we are trying to create the first platform in Indonesia where people can book services and buy products in one transaction. Because as far as we know, there's no such platform where they can, where user can buy and book services in one transaction. That is our main unique proposition.
Okay, thank you. So, uh, yeah, I think the next presenter will explain in more detail for the business analysis and also the unique proposition against the competitors. Okay, any other questions? We still have around 1 to 2 minutes. All right, since there is no more questions, thank you, Mr. Arvan, for your nice presentation. Hopefully that it will run smoothly for the next in the near future, especially after the pandemic over, yeah.
Thank you very much,
For
Paola.
the startup. Thank you
Very much, and thank you very much for everyone for listening. Have a nice day.